What up, guys? What's going on? It's your boy Boxing Maestros here. What it do? We're gonna talk about a few topics here. This week in boxing has been very slow. There hasn't been much news, but this next week is gonna be a hot one, yo. Cause we got Inoue, we got Nakatani, we also got Benavidez against Zurdo Ramirez, and I would also like to talk about another topic that I added on here. That's the 147-pound division and 140-pound division that is being stalled. First up on the list right here, yo, we got Inoue and Nakatani. Inoue is going to be moving up. No, Inoue is not moving up. My apologies. Nakatani is moving up to fight Inoue. He is challenging him for all the belts, yo. Everything. IBF, WBO, WBC, IBF, the Ring Magazine. He wants it all, yo. He used to fight at 118 pounds. He's going up to 122. As we know, Naoya Inoue, the monster, is a beast. He has good timing. He has speed. He has power. He has about I think it's an 89% KO ratio, if I'm not mistaken. But Nakatani doesn't fall behind, yo. Nakatani, he's got a 75% KO ratio. The thing that he has advantage of over Inoue, which is it's odd because he's the one that's moving up, is his height and his reach, yo. He's got about, I believe it was like something like 4 inches of height on him and like 8 inches of reach or something like that. So I will be breaking it down later on in the video on YouTube. But I want to talk about this fight because not a lot of people are talking about it. It makes me a little upset because Inoue deserves more respect, yo. I know he's in the smaller divisions. I know because of that people usually don't, talk about them or don't watch them or whatnot. But he's the number 2 on the pound for pound list. Right here on the left side here, on the very side of the video, we have our pound for pound rankings. He's number 2, only behind Usyk, and he would be behind Crawford if he was still fighting. Besides that, pound for pound, Inoue is second best in the world besides Usyk. That's it. And he's gonna fight Nakatani, which is probably his biggest and toughest fight yet. And not a lot of people are talking about it. I'm a little concerned. I'm a little concerned that people just don't care. I don't know. People care what David Haney has to say on Twitter. People care about what Stevenson has to say on Twitter. But nobody cares that Inoue is about to fight this next coming week. You know what I mean? It's a little odd. So anyways, I'm going to give you guys a little oversight about the fight. Like I said, I'm going to do a full breakdown later on this week on YouTube. I'll probably link it on the Facebook or whatnot. But, yeah. Inoue, he's... you could say he's kind of a pressure fighter. He throws a lot of punches. He throws a lot of combinations. They're usually pretty fast and crisp. The thing that he does do, though, or that he does bad, I guess you can say, is pay attention to his defense once he gets going. In the last few fights, we have seen him dropped. Luis Neri dropped him, and what's the guy's name? This is a Mexican guy. He fought like 2 fights ago. He also dropped him. They both dropped him with counter hooks. I believe Luis Neri threw a right counter hook, and the Mexican dude hit him with the left counter hook. They were both counters. They were both while Inoue was throwing punches or had just thrown a punch, and they just slipped one in there and cracked him right in the chin, and he went down. So, Neri is a big puncher. The Mexican guy was also heavy-handed, but not as much of a knockout fighter as Luis Neri. He popped right up with both knockdowns. He wasn't completely hurt, but he went down. Like, he went down because he was hurt. He didn't go down because he was throwing a punch and fell. He didn't slip. He got cracked, and he went down. So you can say Inoue's durability maybe isn't as much as Nakatani's. Because Nakatani, in his last fight, he fought a heavy-handed Mexican dude, okay? He just went up to the 122-pound division this last fight, purposefully to promote the Inoue fight. And this guy, he cracked Nakatani quite a few times, and Nakatani never went down. He never got hurt. He never faltered. He just kept going. His eye was like almost closed shut. It had a big old lump on top of it, but he kept coming. And Nakatani is tough. Nakatani is very tough, and he can also crack. He's a lengthier fighter. He's a southpaw as well. And he throws a mean left hand, yo. He throws a mean left hand. He knocked out Maloney with it. He cracked him. It was like candidate for knockout of the year. He just brought it all the way from the back and cracked him right in the chin and went down. He didn't get up. Well, he got up, but not on time. So if he catches Inoue, whenever Inoue gets a little overzealous and he starts landing some good punches and whatnot, Inoue might go down, and we're gonna have to see what happens if Nakatani really cracks Inoue. What's gonna happen? Because like I said, they can both crack, and Inoue doesn't pay attention to his defense whenever he's throwing combinations. So I think that will be Nakatani's game plan. I believe he should throw counter left hooks right when Inoue is coming in, and of course, throw the jab, keep him out, keep him in long range, and just throw the lefts down the pipe. I believe this is going to be a good fight. Both fighters are coming to win. Both fighters have that winner mentality. They're both undefeated. They have never tasted defeat as a pro. And I believe it's going to be, I possibly think it might be one of the best fights of the year. But like I said, not a lot of people are talking about it. It makes me a little upset, yo. So we will probably do a live stream. I believe since it's going to be in Japan, the live stream is probably going to be on like 5 in the morning or something like that. We'll also post that on the Facebook just so we don't miss it, so we get all the times right. And yeah, we'll see what happens with that, yo. Moving on to the next topic, though. We got David, the monster, Benavidez, against Zurdo Ramirez. So these two guys, they have a lot of history, yo. They have sparred in the past, many years ago. They each have gone on to have successful careers. Zurdo Ramirez in the cruiserweight and light heavy, which are not very talked about divisions. Last time Zurdo Ramirez tested defeat, he fought against Bivol at light heavy, I believe, and Bivol pretty handily beat him. It didn't seem like he struggled. It just seemed like Bivol didn't struggle. Zurdo Ramirez struggled a lot. Bivol threw a lot of combinations. He was in and out. His feet were way too fast for Zurdo Ramirez, and it was a very tough outing for him, yo. It was a very tough outing. Ever since then, yo, Ramirez has gone up in division to cruiserweight, and he's had a successful career so far there. He's had a couple of wins now. But David Benavidez, the monster, in the past few years, he's gone up since 168 to 175, and now he's gonna go up and fight Zurdo Ramirez again, yo. So it's gonna be a challenge, I guess you can say, for David Benavidez to see how well he handles that weight, going up so fast, so quickly, and we'll just see how he handles the weight and see if it doesn't hurt his speed, which I think most of all for David Benavidez, his speed is like his primary advantage over all the fighters that he's fought. It's not so much the power, it's not so much his endurance, it's more his speed and his combinations what really fucks people up, So due to that, since Bivol pretty handily beat Zurdo Ramirez with combinations and his feet, I think David Benavidez might be able to get him, yo. You got they know each other, like I said, they sparred years ago. But if you can tell right here, let me move my camera real quick. You can tell the size difference, yo. Look at the size difference. Look at Zurdo Ramirez. He's like bulkier, like around the midsection. He looks bigger. His head is bigger. He just looks bigger overall, And David Benavidez there is wearing a jacket. So, Zurdo Ramirez for sure has the size advantage, yo. And I'm curious to see how David Benavidez is going to handle Zurdo Ramirez's power coming back at him. And if he can move as swiftly as he does in the other divisions. Now, David Benavidez doesn't have the best footwork per se. He doesn't surprise people with his movement like Lomachenko does or something like that. Zurdo Ramirez does, though. Zurdo Ramirez can throw combinations while he's moving and move to the side, sidestep, and things like that from a southpaw stance. So we'll see how David Benavidez handles that. I think he will struggle in the first couple rounds. Maybe the first 3 or 4, Zurdo Ramirez might get the best of him. But little by little, for sure, like always, David Benavidez is going to bring on the heat and the pressure. And I think he's going to be able to get Zurdo Ramirez out of there. I think he will be able to outlast him, I think. But like I said, Zurdo Ramirez, he's got some tricks in his bag, yo. He does. But both of these guys know each other. This picture right here, this one I'm showing on the screen right now, It's a very well-known picture from ES News. Shout out to him. Been watching him for years now. They used to spar a long time ago at the Brick House Boxing Club. You can tell Zurdo Ramirez there is a little bit more thin. He's a little more lean. They're about the same size in this picture back when they used to spar. I believe Benavidez has says that he's gotten the best of Zurdo Ramirez before and that he's hurt him before. So we'll see if he can hurt him now that Zurdo Ramirez is in the bigger division and David Benavidez is gonna go into his division, and we'll see if he can walk the walk, because David Benavidez always talks the talk, and as far as right now, as we know, David Benavidez has backed it up. So we'll see about that. Here's another picture before we go on to the next topic. This is another picture from way before. You can tell David Benavidez here is a lot younger. He's a lot thinner. He actually looks like a teenager. He doesn't even look like an adult quite yet. And Zurdo Ramirez is a lot leaner than he is in this picture, and a lot leaner than he is now. So you can tell the big difference here between the weights, the times, and the ages. These guys have known each other for a pretty long time, yo. So I wouldn't doubt that they go right into it since the beginning of the round. I don't think there'll be much of a feel-out process. I think these guys know each other pretty good, and they're just gonna go right into it, yo. And I'm interested to see, because both guys have probably developed quite a bit ever since, changed their styles, their endurance, their punch combinations. So we'll see what happens with that, yo. Now moving on, yo, to my third topic, like I mentioned before. This third topic is something that's been bothering me for a while, yo. The 140-pound division and 147, especially the guy right here on the screen. Yes, he's good. Yes, I admit that he's one of the best. But Devin Haney, yo, he thinks he's Floyd Mayweather. He thinks he's Ray Robinson and Muhammad Ali put in one. And he thinks he deserves all the money in the world just because he hasn't been beat. In quotations, hasn't been beat, because we all know that Ryan Garcia taxed that ass, yo. He taxed that ass and he taxed it good, yo. He dropped him like 3 or 4 times, made him look like nothing, yo. But this guy, he thinks because, the Austrian that Ryan Garcia was using, the point, however millionth of a gram that they found in his system, he thinks that he's just the best and he deserves more money every time that he fights. Yeah, every time that we see him in interviews, he's like, no, I want to fight this fight. I want to fight the best. I want Ryan Garcia. I want Rolly. I want them all. Bring it on. Conor Benn is easy. Shakur Stevenson's easy. Blah, blah, blah. Whoop de whoop. But then when it comes to negotiating the fights and things like that, he's like, no, well, give me like $50 million and I'll fight him. So it's like, do you want to fight? Like, do you want to like talk and walk, or do you just want to talk and then maybe you will walk later? You know what I mean? Because David Benavidez, like we said, he walks the walk. Like, he'll tell you he want to fight you, and he'll be like, I don't care, don't pay me shit. Like whenever Benavidez was gonna fight Canelo, yo, I don't know if you guys remember when there was like negotiations with Turkey Ali Sheikh. David Benavidez says, I don't care, pay him whatever he wants, don't pay me shit, I'll donate all the money, just make the fight. And I believe it. I believe David Benavidez would have fought Canelo for free. I do believe it. Now, Devin Haney is somebody we just can't believe, because he says things and he does the opposite. And, we've been in negotiations for the Ryan Garcia rematch forever now. We've been in negotiations with Rolly for about 3 months now, and Rolly's been complaining on the interviews that Haney just doesn't really want to fight. He just wants to ask for a lot of money, and he doesn't really want to fight people. And so I think it was this morning, I saw an interview with Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn says that one of his fighters fought him. I think it was Rougarou. I think it was Regis Prograis. That was Eddie Hearn's fighter. And he says that he doesn't want to do business with Haney and his dad. He says, we want to fight him. We want fights with him. But we can't do business with them because they're always asking for a lot of money. And he asks for too much money for the amount of fans that he brings to the table, So every time that they make a Haney fight, it's a loss. So they got to find somebody that wants to lose money to make him fight, to give him a fight. So it just makes no fucking sense in my opinion. Next up here we have Ryan Garcia, yo. Another guy that's between 140 and 147 pounds. Ryan Garcia has walked the walk. He talks the talk, and he talks even more talk than he can walk sometimes, even though he walks pretty good, he talks a lot of shit. He says weird things sometimes, but he always fights. And I'm looking forward to see him fight maybe Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez recently said he might fight at 147. I think he said they were saying that he was a mandatory to fight some Mexican dude at 140. I think he had a belt, and he recently said that he will let him do what he wants, and he hopes he makes Mexico proud, but that he was moving to 147. So maybe we have Ryan Garcia, who is at 147 now, fighting Teofimo Lopez. That's one I'm looking forward to. That's one where both guys have said that they will fight each other, but so has Haney and Ryan Garcia, and they haven't fight each other. So, Rolly and Haney as well, they've said they were going to fight each other, and they just haven't for one reason or the other. So let's hopefully see Garcia against Teofimo Lopez. I think that would be a great fight for everybody. Another guy that I would like to see back in the ring as quick as possible, it will be Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson right now is at 140. There has also been talks that he might go to 147. He says eventually will happen, but 147 is not for him right now. He said that's probably going to be the last division in his career, 147. So for now, Shakur Stevenson has said that he's going to stay at 140. So if Teofimo stays at 140, you might get it again, but Shakur Stevenson is just going to tax that ass again, because he fucking schooled him. But who can Shakur Stevenson fight at 140, really? Let's see right here. At 140, we have Teofimo Lopez, which he already whooped. Keyshawn Davis, which Shakur Stevenson has openly said that he's not going to fight because that's his brother. We have Richardson Hitchens, who is, I think he just signed to sue for boxing, so I'm not sure with that promotional stuff if he's going to be able to fight him. We also have Dalton Smith, which is the WBC champion. 19 wins, 0 losses, 14 KOs. That would be a good fight for Shakur Stevenson. And that guy just beat Cyril Matias. He KO'd him in the 5th. And there's also Matias and Puello and Gary Antoine Russell, who's the WBA champion. That would be another good fight for Shakur Stevenson against Antoine Russell. Antoine Russell has 18 wins, 1 loss, 70 KOs. And of course, one of my favorites of recent years will be Lamont Roach. Shakur Stevenson against Lamont Roach, I think, will be a good fight to see. It will be a technical fight. And I think Lamont Roach might have something in the bag for Shakur Stevenson, Maybe not beat him, but he surprised the hell out of me when he fought Gervonta Davis, and Roach was there, like in the pocket, evading shots and giving them counters and sending them back and this and that. I think he fought pretty good, and I think he might be a challenge for anybody at 140, even Shakur Stevenson, So I would like to see that fight. Next up as well, at 147 now, he has been saying that he wants to fight somebody. He's been calling out Ryan Garcia. He's been calling out Shakur Stevenson. He's been calling out Haney. Benn talks the talk, and he walks the walk as well. He's like the UK version of Ryan Garcia. He also says weird things sometimes and this and that. But he says he wants the smoke, and I do believe he does want the smoke. So if Benn fights somebody, I would like to see him fight Ryan Garcia. Benn's explosive. He has power, and he's careless, and he's got like machoism and bravado about him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't care if he gets hit. He doesn't care if he gets dirty. He's ready to fight whoever wants to fight. So I think this would be a good matchup for anybody, to be honest. If he fights Shakur Stevenson, which he said he wanted to, and he called Shakur Stevenson small, he said that he's brittle and things like that. And he said that he basically said he's a kid and that he will beat his ass if he wants to get his ass beat. He also says that he will beat Haney. He says that Ryan Garcia is keeping his belt warm. So hopefully we see Benn fighting one of these guys in the U.S. Since the U.S. is like the hotbed of boxing right now. Well, as in terms of where the boxers are from. I think that would be a pretty good fight. I think Turki Al-Sheikh wants to promote Benn a lot. I think he brings good money in the UK, and I hope he also brings good money in the US as well. I think it would be a good fight to make. So out of all these guys, Haney, Shakur Stevenson, Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez, Benn, I would like to see them mix it up, I want to see them mix it up. Like I said, right here in the topics, 140, 147 pound division. It seems like they're just being stalled right now by a lot of like prima donnas. People don't want to fight each other, And the only guys that have actually mixed it up is Haney, Ryan Garcia, and Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis right now is not fighting, probably not even this year. I hope he would. I hope he will stop getting into trouble outside of the ring, yo, and actually, you know, come fight in the ring and show us what he's good at, not what he's bad at, you know, like outside the ring. So he's on standby. He's on hold, per se. But, yeah, Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia have fought each other. Haney, Ryan Garcia have fought each other. Even though Haney says, you know, the fight didn't happen, he never lost. He got his ass beat by Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia taxed that ass, yo. He taxed it good. He dropped him like 3 or 4 times. So that fight did happen to me. If you guys want to say, you know, on the comments and whatnot, you know, Haney beat him or Haney didn't get beat because of the millionth gram of Austrian that was in his test or whatnot, then, you know, you can say whatever the fuck you want. But for me, Ryan Garcia taxed that ass, yo. The other fight that has happened was Shakur Stevenson against Teofimo Lopez. So these guys are kind of mixing it up, but I want to see him mix it up even more. You know, I want to see Pitbull fighting people. I want to see Lamar Roach fighting people. I want to see Teofimo Lopez fight Ryan Garcia. I want to see Conor Benn fight Ryan Garcia. I want to see Shakur Stevenson fighting Conor Benn. I want to see Shakur Stevenson fighting Devin Haney. I want to see all these fights, yo. These guys are all in the 140, 147 pound division, and I think we all, as fans, deserve to see all these fights. And Haney, Devin Haney, like, for me, is like the prime example of fighters just pricing themselves out over and over and over. Haney said he wants to fight Garcia for the rematch. He said he's gonna get it back in blood, is what his father was saying. Haney Sr. was saying he was gonna get it back in blood, blah blah blah, whoop de whoop. Ryan Garcia tried to kill my son and this and that. You know, it's just a bunch of fucking talk from them. It's just a bunch of smoke and mirrors. Because at the end of the day, when Turkey Sheik is like, okay, I'm gonna make the fight, Devin Haney is like, no, give me more money. No, give me more money. No, I want more money. Until they tell him he can't have any more money, and then he just prices himself out. And he's like, okay, well, since you said I can't have this, that's what I want. And if you want to make the fight, you're gonna give me that. It makes no fucking sense to me, at least. You know, I know Devin Haney doesn't need the money, but we gotta see the fights, yo. We gotta see the fights. Aside from that, like I said, Conor Benn, Ryan Garcia, Shakur Stevenson against Haney would be cool. I think it would also be cool seeing him fight Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia against Stevenson would be a great clash of styles, yo, because Ryan Garcia is fucking careless. He just throws to the wind. He just throws hard punches. Doesn't care if he gets hit. And Shakur Stevenson is like really measured, you know. It's gonna be like Mayweather against Maidana. Mayweather against Maidana was cool. It was interesting clashing styles, and we got a good two fights from them. So if Shakur Stevenson and Ryan Garcia mix it up, I think that'd be cool. It would also be cool to see him fight Conor Benn. Conor Benn being the bigger guy, being a bully, I think could also try to bully Shakur Stevenson, but I think Ryan Garcia is the better pick because Ryan Garcia is more explosive. Conor Benn is too. Conor Benn's explosive. He's fast and all. But Ryan Garcia is lightning fast. And he's proven before that he's given guys with good defenses and fast reflexes issues before, just like he did with Devin Haney. So I think if Ryan Garcia fights Shakur Stevenson, he could also pose a lot of trouble for him. And I think we will see some interesting fights, yo. So this is the end of the stream, yo. This next week, we're going to stream reactions and play-by-play with Naoya Inoue and Junto Nakatani. That's going to be early in the morning on Saturday, like 4 or 5 in the morning. I'll post the times later this week. I'll also post a breakdown on YouTube. And we're also going to be streaming David Benavidez against Zurdo Ramirez later on that day. And I will also post the breakdown of that this next week on YouTube. So follow here, follow over there, subscribe, like and comment, yo. Let me know down below what you guys think about the Inoue versus Nakatani, Benavidez against Zurdo Ramirez, and what you guys think about all the fucking drama and all the prima donnas not wanting to fight each other at 140 and 147, yo. Boxing Maestros out, yo. Have a good one.